is up, everyone, and welcome to the first live edition of the No Life Digital podcast here on the No Life Digital Twitch account. So hopefully you guys have all started following the No Life Twitch account. If not, and you're watching this on YouTube, head over to our Twitch, No Life Digital. Give us a follow. And yeah, we're doing the show live now every either Tuesday or Wednesday. Hopefully it's every Tuesday, but if not, we'll let you know. Make sure you're following us on our Twitter at No Life Digital to stay updated on when we're going live, and you'll just get a notification. We're always going to be going live around 6:30, 7 p.m., mainly 6:30. So now that we're live, we'll probably make more of an effort to keep it steady. All right, what's up, dudes? Let's bring on the co-hosts. Co-host Assemble! Remember I used to do that?
You miss doing that, I know.
Oh boy, what up?
How does it feel being on Twitch, guys?
Feels pretty like Beavis and Butthead.
But you
For
should.
people who don't know, that is the banner playing atop the screen right now.
Oh, we got ourselves a host. Thank you for the host. I can't quite see who it is, though.
It's me.
Oh, thanks, DB, for the host. Yeah, so Twitch is just way better because you can do all this fun stuff with it than YouTube. I guess you can kind of do it on YouTube, but you guys were seeing before, right? I was getting like alerts and for YouTube, and they weren't coming in the way that they come in on Twitch. I need to figure out why that was happening. But now that we're on Twitch, I don't even have to fucking re-upload the videos. It just automatically does it for us, which is beautiful, beauteous.
The way that re-uploads it to
YouTube, the YouTube
Oh,
channel.
wow.
Yep. So I don't have to do the whole thing, and we just have to make sure we don't have to edit anything out.
shows how long I've paid attention to Twitch.
Yeah.
Or how long it's been since I last streamed.
But the main thing is the clips. We can clip shit. So if we talk about something worth talking about, I'll just clip that out, and it automatically gets re-uploaded to YouTube, and that is a beautiful thing. And Twitter too, if we wanted to. I think there's a certain time limit on Twitter. But if like Jerry like falls out of his chair or something and we want to share it on social media, you can do that on Twitch. I think you can do it on YouTube. I saw there was a create a highlight thing, which I never knew existed. But it seems like more convoluted than Twitch. Twitch makes it super easy. Plus people were saying it looks way better on Twitch anyway.
It does. You're really magenta, but it looks better.
Yeah, that's just my room though. That's a pink light if you don't know.
Okay.
Because I like the color pink.
I figured because it's like you're ever since you moved, you're just always super magenta.
Yeah. Yeah, this room, that light is bright orange.
It doesn't help with bricks too, you know.
Yeah, that light's orange. I have bricks there, and that's a pink purple light. So it looks good, dude. I'm trying to get the Hardware Canucks look going on. I should probably close my closet so it doesn't look like shit.
Need more purple. If you're going full Hardware Canucks.
I was streaming once on DIY or Die, and my mom called me, and she was like, Wayne, close your closet. You're making your stream look ugly. I was like, thanks, Mom. That's actually really good advice. She's like, you look unprofessional. Meanwhile, I'm like streaming a fucking vaping channel on YouTube. But that's moms for you, always looking out for the best.
Dude, they always know.
Yeah.
Always know.
I'll never doubt my mom. All right. What's on the agenda? Have we been playing anything new?
Sekiro's
out, but I haven't played it yet. I haven't downloaded it.
I haven't played it yet, and I've been a very good boy and not watched any of it.
I watched Yeah, I watched What's Up Russian. I watched Shindo play a little bit of it, and it looks really fun. He says he's really enjoying it. He says it's his favorite game ever.
Seems like a Shindo game.
Yeah.
But
yeah. He also says it's way harder than any of the Souls games, which is good.
I can be.
Was it Sekiro?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually was watching YouTube and I saw a video that was like the Didn't Know Gaming, and I didn't realize, and it makes sense now, like going back and rewatching some footage of Sekiro, and I'm definitely gonna pick it up when it goes on sale. But it was actually originally made to be a Tenchu game. If you remember Tenchu from the PlayStation 1.
Yes, I do.
And looking back on it, it's like, okay, that actually totally makes sense. The grapple, straight from Tenchu. I loved like the good old Tenchu, Birth of the Stealth Assassins.
Yeah.
So if it plays like that with some Souls influence, I'm totally gonna pick it up when it hits a sale. I'm gonna wait till sale.
Dude, you know what game I want to remake? Bushido Blade. Have you ever played Bushido Blade?
Yo,
I could be
Bushido
down
Blade
with
was
that.
dope.
Fuck, I want to play Bushido Blade.
Bushido Blade, and if you remember, Brave Fencer Musashi was like a action RPG.
I need to Google it.
probably
What's it
PS1.
called?
Brave Fencer Musashi. You remember that?
Oh,
I
yes,
loved it.
yes.
You
I
know what I'm
remember
talking
this
about?
shit.
Good. I would love
Yes,
to
dude,
see
my
that series
cousin
come
had
back.
it, and we played it all the time. Fucking
That game
Brave.
was legit dope.
Dude, just looking at these old PlayStation game covers is like such nostalgic. It's like so nostalgic just looking at the covers.
Just keep looking at the covers and don't look at their classic. Though.
Don't play the game. Otherwise,
Or
you're
not.
just...
Look at the blocky polygons.
Dude, I remember Musashi though. Yeah. Fuck, man, that was such a good game. I don't know if it was good. I just remember having fun with it.
These old IPs, I would love to see come back.
Yeah.
Better than like the majority of shit that's coming on the market these days, honestly.
Yeah. Well, like a Bushido Blade was cool because it was like the first. There was no music. Remember, it was just you hop down, you and versus some dude, and it was like real sword play, and that was like groundbreaking at the time.
I mean, speaking about old games coming back, the Samurai Showdown's coming back.
Okay.
You remember that game?
Yep. All right.
It's like it was like the second. I think behind Mortal Kombat was probably the most violent fighting game when it came out.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat was always like the one that got everyone in trouble. But it was such stupid violence. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Have you
violent.
seen-
It was like comic book violence.
Have you
Yeah.
seen the fatalities in the newest one?
Yeah.
Way too realistic.
Yeah. I know the
It's
new. Yeah, and they don't say
Borderline,
nothing.
it's borderline disgusting.
At the same time, though, like I want them to go with.
That's what I love about Mortal Kombat, though.
I want every fighting game. I want what Tekken has done and just made the really crazy, stupid create a player. That's all I want. Actually, is I just want all of these stupid like 1v1s between like SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs, but
Soul
with like
Calibur 6, man. Oh, the
stupid
so good.
graphics.
Dude, have you ever played Fighter Maker?
No,
All right, Fighter Maker was probably my favorite game when I was younger. There was Fighter Maker 2 on PlayStation 2, but I played Fighter Maker for hours. It was like
Soul Calibur.
a create a fighter dreamland. You created your fighter any sort of look that you wanted, but you could also create his moves. And you would actually there was like a system where you actually created the moves frame by frame. So like I had one dude like jump in the air and his legs would go above his head and spin around like a helicopter, and that was like his jump attack. And then like his punch was like a wonky, like just a super OP long punch. And it was the most amazing game, just spending hours crafting these stupid characters as a kid. But
that could be cool.
dude, it was
Yeah.
so fun. Like I would play it now.
Well, yeah, no, like especially if you could do like frame by frame like that. That
Yeah.
would be sick.
Yeah, and
Dude,
it had like hit markers, like certain parts of your body were hit markers. So you would want your punch to like hit a certain way. You would need to make sure that it was like super advanced. It took like RPG Maker to like the next level, because I loved RPG Maker. But then when Fighter Maker came out, man, I played so much of it. And then MTV Music Generator came out. You remember that shit? And I played hours of that and fucking crafting stupid beats.
Jerry, did you get Smash yet?
I still haven't gotten Smash.
You can make Mii's in that.
Well, that was actually where I was gonna go with. That's gonna be the next great fighter is Mii's versus Animojis.
Dude, some of the Mii's that you encounter are hilarious. I fought Samuel L. Jackson the other day.
Yeah,
and
people
actually
get, like,
one-
really dumbly creative with it.
Well, one of the Mii's is like actually a good character to fight with. I forget. I think it might be the sword one.
It's the sword fighter.
Yeah.
It's like the best of the Mii's. But even then, they're like still pretty bad.
Yeah, they're not the best, but one of them is. If you can get good with them, it's pretty hard to fight
You're
against.
not seeing a Mii sword fighter in top 32.
Not yet. Not with that attitude. Yeah, but that is I should make some Mii's, man. I only made one Mii.
Dude,
That's not
Memoji
good.
versus
Yeah, man.
Animoji. That's it versus Bitmoji.
It's like the
Next
one
great fighting
thing.
game.
It's like the one thing still left over from the Wii era is the Mii's.
I know why.
People love
Why
them.
are there still Mii's? That's what I don't get.
People love
It's
them,
like
dude.
you remember like your avatar on Xbox 360.
Yeah, and people like
Essentially,
didn't want to like lose their PlayStation and Xbox avatars either, and I'm like, why? Who cares? You actually go to the weird town and like
I
run
just
around.
remember
With
having.
people.
I
Shout
just
out
remember
B
mine-
Mix, B Mixuki for the follow.
I just remember mine having like the guilty Spark 343 like hanging around my avatar.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude,
Uh,
the creation aspect of these games are so powerful. I think like every game needs some sort of creation tool. You can
I
spend
mean, you play,
so
like-
much time in it.
Anytime you play Mass Effect or any of these games where it's like you create your character, it's like the first 4 hours. It's
Yeah.
just that.
Yeah. Dude, even look at like the banners for Call of Duty. Like, you know how many fucking there was like a whole cottage industry for people who made banners for Call of Duty. You know, it's like people just have to get that creative outlet out, and that's a good way to do it.
I'm just excited for a Halo PC to have all that Forge functionality again.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that would be cool because especially on PC, you can make way better maps.
Oh hell yeah. It's gonna be dope. I remember playing Griffball like way too much.
Yeah, maybe we should just up this level and just download Unreal 4 and just make our own fucking Unreal game. We're halfway there.
So other games though, has anyone else played anything else?
No.
I mean, besides my horrible addiction to Apex.
Okay, well, Doobie, get off your horrible addiction to Apex
Yo,
and get on to my new current addiction, which is a 2-year-old game.
What is
you
it?
got
Oh, dude, okay. My girlfriend bought Horizon Zero Dawn on that
Oh,
like
yeah.
$16 sale. I have not put it down.
I told
It
you.
is currently sitting in my PlayStation 4. I have installed it.
No, like once you start playing it, you're not gonna put it down. It is that good.
It is, from what I've heard, it is the only reason it got overlooked a little bit was because it came out the same week as Zelda.
Dude, it's so
I haven't
fucking
even, like,
good.
There's aspects of it that I actually really do like more than Zelda.
The
for
combat. The combat is amazing.
The combat's amazing in it.
I mean, they sold me in the beginning when they announced the game to begin with, when it was you get to fight giant robot dinosaurs.
But
Yeah.
it's not even just that, and it is less of an RPG than I'd like. It is more of that action adventure style game with
It's not, like, kind of like the
Right.
most recent God of War,
Yeah, sort of.
kind of, yeah.
which I'm fine with. I
Little bit.
love God of War.
There's a little bit more RPG elements than God of War, but it is kind of like that. But what they then did instead is the combat's so good.
Mhm.
Like it is the setting and the theme and like finding out what happened to the world and this and that.
That
but then
keeps
when
you
you
going,
actually-
you know?
Yeah. Like the storyline is great, the story writing is great, but it's really like the combat is so fucking good.
Like I said, it was one of the first games in a long time that I actually finished, and it got me to finish like other games because it was just so engrossing the whole time. It's so good, dude. You have to get it, Doobie.
I have it.
He has to
I
play
have
it.
it.
Oh, you had to play it. That's
You know,
I got the complete edition for like $20.
it was like 17. The complete edition's been on sale for 17 digitally.
Yeah.
So like,
how can you not buy into that?
if you don't have this game and you have a PlayStation 4, go buy it while this sale's going on. Basically, like you're not going to get a better game for $17.
yeah. Yeah.
unless
it's
you get The
fucking
Witcher
phenomenal.
3, it's $17.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That is true. Yeah,
But that's
fucking,
that one's 20 still. So go get the $17 one too. Just get them both for $40. You'll have the
I
best.
did get both.
I would still say Witcher's a better game at $20 than Horizon at 17, but Horizon's way up there too. It's so fun, man. Yeah, dude, you got the battle royale itch, man. I was that way with PUBG when I first started playing
It's
battle
not even
royale.
the battle. It's not even the battle royale. Like, it's not even the fact that it's battle royale. It's the fact that I have friends who actively play the game, and I enjoy squad-based gameplay.
I think you actually
Yeah.
might
Also
like
like the guns.
PUBG better, to be honest.
I really like the gunplay, and I like how fast it is.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of PUBG because I had friends that played it, and it always seems so slow.
I think you just got to play it. I think you would really like it because it's a tactical RPG or it's a tactical game. So it's not a lot of just like how good you are with flicking and jumping around. It's more of like
See, I come from a
positioning.
Halo 3. I come from a Halo 3 background.
Yeah.
So, like, Apex scratches that Halo itch because it's a very fast, twitchy shooter.
Yeah.
It's that, but it's even more like old Unreal days of stupid movement.
Yo,
That's what I like.
Unreal,
Yeah.
like Quake Tournament.
Dude, I just played the newest Unreal because they had like a thing on Epic, and oh my god, it's so bad. The newest one is terrible.
What was that, Unreal Champions or whatever
Yeah,
it is?
it's not good.
Yeah, it was their take on, like, it was them trying to get into like the Overwatch style, and
It's just not good. It's
honestly,
not polished
it was a
at
better
all.
game. It was a better game on PC back in like the early 2000s when it was everybody rocket jumping.
This
Yeah.
one's just like, it feels like it was made in like 2004. Like it's just unpolished. It's just not
so
good.
disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, it's still Unreal, so it's still fun inherently if you like those type of like arena shooters.
But it's also reminds you of Cliffy B.
Do you know how much Quake 3 Arena we played in high school? Like in class, like in our tech
Dude,
class.
you know how much
I
fucking
believe it.
Unreal I played?
Yeah.
Unreal 2004 was my shit, dude. When they
Oh,
brought in
hell
the
yeah.
quads. God, I played that was that was where I needed a good PC because I was playing Counter-Strike a lot. And then 2004 came out and I was like, let's play it. I enjoyed it, but dude, I needed a fucking Radeon graphics card to play it. So then I went out, bought a Radeon's graphics card, put it in my HP. I didn't know what a CPU was. I just knew I needed a GPU.
Go
And I was
get then,
ripping Gibbs.
dude. Then you
Yeah.
had to ditch your Pentium 4 and go step up to that AMD 64 hotness.
Yep.
My PC gaming of 2004 was
That's what got-
Halo 1.
That's what got me into PCs, and that's how I built my first PC.
Yep. The Anthelon 64 was 6400 or something.
Dude, no, it was the 64, and then they released the X2, and I had the X2 6000 like
Yep.
a baller, and I kept that PC for like 10 years.
Yeah. And it would
'Cause it
just
was like-
fucking burn
like
up
the-
every time you turned it on.
Oh yeah, but it was like I had to, dude. I saved up so much for that. It was the first
know.
dual core, and it was like the Intel killer. Oh, it was fucking amazing.
Those are the days, man. When
Then
you could
Intel
only
launched-
spend like $500 and you can get a fucking banging PC to run everything. And now you have to spend like $3,000.
No, you could still do that. You just can't run it at like 4K.
Yeah. Well, that back then there was no 4K. It
No,
was like
exactly.
you just got into high def, so it was all the same.
You were sitting there staring at overpriced Alienwares, going, man, if only.
Yeah, dude.
When Alienware was a name.
Yes,
I
that
don't
was
know
when
why
like
it isn't
when like
anymore.
Falcon Northwest was like a big name too.
Razer
Yeah.
is the new Alienware.
Yeah, Razer's the new. Well, Alienware is still
Well,
Alienware.
yeah,
But,
because
like nobody, like I never see them. I never see them advertised.
And
I
you
actually
shouldn't, 'cause
see Alienwares
I
more
see a
than I
lot
see
of them.
Razers.
I do too, which is kind of sad because it's Dell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would much rather have a Razer these days. But yeah,
I-
that's
and
what
I
it
still
was.
do-
Still
want a
overpriced. Still overpriced.
That's what it was.
No, for the laptops, they're actually pretty decently priced.
They're
I'm talking about
competitively
peripherals.
for the size. I mean,
peripherals, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Their
Oh.
keyboards are trash and are overpriced. Their mice are okay.
I
Yeah.
own their keyboards. I know.
yeah, their keyboard, their peripherals are, but that's how they
My
make their money to
switches
make
are
the
wearing
laptops.
out. My switches
Yeah.
are wearing out.
Oh,
My
yeah, and that will that'll happen eventually.
You're
like
just playing
that's
too much Apex.
that's why I converted to like learning. That's why I started buying cheat boards and learning how to do them myself. It's just because it's like, yeah, I can go buy like 100 Cherry switches for $30 or like Optimos for like 18. I can get Gatorons for like $20.
Yeah.
Like as long as you know how to solder, it's like cool, dude. This cost me 2 cents to replace the switch.
Wasn't it Razer that had that like crazy gaming laptop?
Which
They
one
have
with
one.
the
Yeah, it was
screens
a
came
while
out?
ago. Yeah, and it was like super expensive.
Was that? No, that wasn't Razer. That was
Yeah, it was Project Lydia. Remember?
Was it? No,
Yeah.
the Lydia was the
It was,
one
like,
I thought.
thick as fuck.
I thought Lydia was the one where you put your stupid Razer.
Oh,
phone
maybe that
into
one
it.
was Lydia.
Maybe.
That one was Lydia.
Remember? So they did
somebody
the
had it.
3-screen one, and then they did Lydia, and then I think you're thinking of
These
Uh,
things look like
other-
the old school like laptops that were
Yeah.
like this
No, I-
freaking thick.
yeah, you're thinking of like the
I think
Acer
Dell and
Predator or something. I forget.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I
So
think
insane.
Dell, HP, and like Acer all made their own weird variations of that too.
Yeah. Where
I
it's
mean,
basically a desktop with a
way
screen
back-
attached to it.
And I've never seen anybody ever have one.
There was one in like 97 or 96 that IBM did that had that pull-out screen too.
Oh, really?
So that does go back, yeah.
Well, nowadays you could just get those little external monitors. You're good. The
Yeah.
USB-C ones.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are so sick.
Which, what did you just say, Wayne?
USB-C. Thunderbolt, bitch.
All right. Also, that's why USB-C hasn't taken off. I found that out thanks to Gamers Nexus.
Because it's so fucking confusing.
No, it's not even that it's confusing. It's the fact that making a USB-C cable costs like 8 times any other USB cables.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's that much more expensive to
Yeah.
just make the cable.
Well, yeah, wait till you have to buy a USB-C dock, dude. They're
Oh.
like $300.
I don't have to buy one. I got one for free.
Oh,
from
really?
Amazon.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
No, dude. My dad's been getting like random Amazon gift packages sent to him that he has no idea. Like, he hasn't used Amazon in like 5 years, and these Chinese companies just keep sending him random shit. So I've gotten a fake ripoff Microsoft Bluetooth mouse, a 6-pack of 10-foot long lightning cables, a USB-C dock.
You don't know who's giving him this stuff?
No,
Oh, wow.
not at all.
That's awesome.
But the best one was the USB-C dock. It's a full USB-C dock, et cetera, et cetera. There's also, and in that package, there was also rat traps and mouse killing like glue pads, and then a giant ass bottle of personal silicone lube.
Maybe it's not for him. His
All I know
maybe he has
is-
the same name or address as someone.
I guess, but it's like
They're his now.
Yeah, like, and he just gives the shit to me because he hates Amazon for some reason. But it's just
All
like,
I know-
sure, dude. So I mean, I've gotten a free mouse. I got a free USB-C dock. I was gonna buy 6 lightning cables since I switched back to Apple. Nope, don't need to do that now.
Nope. And those are expensive.
all I know is the Switch is completely like all USB-C.
Yeah. All
Which
right.
that makes me wonder how much that affects the price.
Oh,
A little bit, but not. It's not that.
When it's
crazy.
Not a
wholesale,
ton, but
when it's wholesale like that, it doesn't really matter too much. But it definitely is a factor when they make them, you know?
What factors for the Switch being more expensive is just that it's not real. It's a different USB-C. Like, it's a USB-C header, but it's their own weird proprietary charging.
of course it is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that.
No, yeah, that's why all the docks were frying people's switches is because it
They were just the
When you-
wrong powers.
right.
It's not an
stage
official
or something.
proprietary.
Right.
Like,
It's not a
yeah.
standardized USB-C power draw, because standardized USB-C power just gives a set amount of power at a specific time all the time. And the Switch wants variable power. So sometimes if it's trying to scale a lot of stuff, it's trying to overclock the processor and it's trying to
Which
draw
is going to
off-
fry it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right.
Yeah. So that's why you also have to buy the stupid $90 dock.
Unless you get lucky and find it marked wrong at a Walmart for 15.
And I think other
I've
docks,
seen.
yeah, I think other docks will do okay. It's just definitely always buy their stupid $30 charger. If you're gonna buy extra chargers, don't buy any of that Best Buy.
I'm hoping that the future of consoles with their controllers all switch to USB-C though.
The
Yeah.
future of console controllers is just
I hope the future of everything
your
switches
mind.
to it.
Plus
Actually-
some longer battery life. I'm sorry, but the PS4 controller, I feel like I got to keep that thing plugged in when I play.
Oh,
You
by
do
the way,
also-
I wanted to talk about this. I forgot, and I need to bring it up now before I forget again. So this is what VR and AR developers are trying to do. So they're basically all trying to create a second Earth, like a second Earth instance. So an instance of Earth and instances, every instance after of that point, down to the atomic level. So they would basically recreate everything on Earth as it is now at the atomic level in pixel form. You know what I mean? So
So
that's the end goal they're saying for VR and AR is basically a literal dimension, like a new dimension.
Playing God.
Yeah.
Project Zero Dawn.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Time travel.
Which I
By
think is pretty
recreating-
cool if they're thinking of that, because they say, like, if they were to do something like that, compression, they would need to get better compression, but that's going to come anyway.
Now
But also
imagine
just
they-
like cloud storage is not, it's like, it is doable to do.
Now, Wayne, imagine they do that, and imagine they're able to digitize the brain and the consciousness matrix.
Yeah. And then you need to take a pill to make sure that you understand which part of the matrix you want to live in or stay out of. And I would always be in the matrix.
Plus the AI. I mean, Elon Musk says it, man. Come on, AI is going to take over. And
Oh, we have a story about AI, man. It's interesting.
Just wait till you play the game. Is all I'm saying.
All right, let's get into news. Sony takes a page out of Nintendo's playbook with their own direct called State of Play. Oh wait, so they already had it?
They had it.
Yeah.
No, but they didn't advertise it for jack shit.
Well, neither does Nintendo.
I mean, Nintendo, like their whole thing, but they've been doing this for.
They have, but
They have word of mouth, and they've nailed the formula down.
to an extent, yeah. I'm not the biggest fan, but I get it. But I
You
expect
get it, you know
I
why
expect-
they do it. It makes sense.
yeah, no, yeah. But it's one of those. I expect everyone's gonna start doing these things. That's why you've been seeing so many people pull out of E3, etc. It's just like,
E3
well, wait, we can just
by
live
itself
stream
is-
our own event.
Well, E3 by itself is also extremely expensive. Like the company that runs E3, like just for this, like just to have floor space is millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah.
To compete with competitors, like,
Or you can just
and the companies are tired of paying for it.
or put up a live stream on a single computer.
Yep, and save a lot of money. EA moved to a completely different venue, still in Los Angeles, still within reach of E3, but for a fraction of the price. And their performance last year, their conference was so bad, they're not even doing it this year.
Dude,
And
can you
then
do me
you
a
have-
favor and just fix your mic real quick? You're a little low.
Yeah, I'm a
Then
little
you
too
still
far.
have like people taking it to the next level and putting on MongoCon.
What's MongoCon? BongoCon?
No, MojoCon, Tana MojoCon.
Oh, MongoCon?
All right, so okay, so like it's a Nintendo Direct format. There's the host. They go through the thing. They're like, here's what's on the agenda. Here's a bunch of announcements, some games, maybe some maybe a developer will talk.
Here's a 2-second trailer.
Here's a trailer. Here's like either a release date or a general release date of fall 2019, whatever. They usually don't extend that far because they do one about every 3 to 4 months. That's just what they do. 4 times a year, 3 or 4 times a year, they give you hey, here's what's coming in the next couple months. And usually and I like the way they do that because it's not like how the E3 where it's like you get one time a year and then you're like, hey, this game is coming out. It might be out in 3 years.
Well, the other advantage to doing that too is when things like Metroid have to be pushed back, you can just be like, "Hey, we're pushing it back," instead of, or you can say when it's releasing closer to its actual release date instead of like, "We got to give you news at E3 and everything else is a press release."
Well, I don't understand is why this wasn't even like advertised. Like I didn't even hear about it.
Because they've got nothing to show.
Well, that makes sense.
Here's what they showed. They had no host.
They already showed it at E3.
Exactly. They had no host. They showed a bunch of VR games. And I get that they're trying to push VR because it did not perform as well as they wanted it to.
No, but it's performing really well nowadays, actually.
Well, now it is because
No, initial relaunch was trash, but like nowadays it's actually done pretty good.
yeah, and it makes sense that this is what they have to push because they don't really have any major titles coming out because they're working on PS5.
Dude, what are you talking about? Are you sitting here and telling me the Final Fantasy Bass Fishing isn't a major title? That is a blockbuster, okay?
Is that really a game?
I'm gonna say
Yeah, that's really a game.
yeah. I'm gonna sit here and tell you that they're having what was the Days Gone was the big thing they maybe talked about, and another zombie game that they already have other zombie games that more people are looking forward to, like The Last of Us 2, which, let's be honest, at this point is a PS5 title.
Yeah, it's gonna have to
It'll
be.
come out on PS4, but you're not going to want to get it on PS4. You're going to want to get it on PS5. I mean, what, they're going to show Death Stranding? We still have no idea where that game is even at in development. I mean, they have really nothing to show until next year. So I don't even know what the point of this whole thing was, really.
Excuse me, it's Final Fantasy 15 Monster of the Deep.
Oh, that's a better name.
That's the name, yeah.
That's
But
a
yeah,
much
no,
better name.
it's fucking Monster Bass
So-
Fishing.
I mean, this was them, like, moving to that formula. And don't get me wrong, I think in the future, as they do more of these and they start to actually have things to show us, they'll improve. But for the first one, it left a lot of people disappointed.
Dude, but your mic's like way up and down.
All right, let me move the gain again.
But yeah, like I don't know.
Test 1 2.
Oh,
Better,
yeah,
better.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's like
Uh,
comes in hot and then drops out.
Yeah, but we'll see. I expect it to go better as it keeps going on, and I expect more people to start doing.
They should just get rid of
So I-
E3. There's
I
no
mean, I
point.
wouldn't be opposed to it.
There's no point.
Right.
It's fun for us to watch, but then again, we could just watch a live. We're just watching a live stream anyway. I'd much rather have more live streams than one E3. You know what I mean? That's the way I feel about it. I don't know. Maybe some people like going to E3, but
I would argue usually that I would prefer quality over quantity, but like calling E3 quality is
yeah, it's a bit of a
little
stretch.
rich.
And it's not like E3 is the end all be all for all these events. Like you have
Right.
PAX East, PAX West, you've got South by Southwest, which Sega goes to a lot. You've got a bunch of other things. You've got Gamescom, you've got things in Europe, things in Japan, like Tokyo Game Show.
Right.
It's not like E3 is the only place for you to show off your games and have them played.
Plus, you have the Game Awards. That's a big place to show off games.
That's a huge place for announcements.
Yeah.
You know, that's where they announced Bayonetta 3 for Switch. That's where you got Joker and Smash. That's where you got Mortal Kombat, even though that was leaked to high hell because everything about that game has been leaked repeatedly.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like even to like the individual level, like even if these games wanted to just release announcements whenever they wanted, I'd be fine with that too. Like you
I think
don't even have to wait for
Nintendo-
PlayStation's event.
You can just shadow drop stuff right onto Twitter. I think
Yeah.
Nintendo did that with a bunch of third-party stuff. They were like, hey, here's a couple of tweets about games that are coming out in the next like couple weeks that we didn't tell you release dates before. Here's Final Fantasy's release date.
Yeah.
You know, they just threw them out there. Why? Because you don't really have to have a big presentation once a year anymore,
Right.
especially with the advent of like live streaming, and you have a controlled environment. There's no more of this like you sit up there with a tech demo where the demo doesn't work, the controller messes up, things don't go as planned. Instead, you have a controlled environment where you have a recording, you can control everything.
Have you ever seen that video of Steve Jobs giving a presentation and something fucks up and he fucking chucks the remote at the fucking the one of those like engineers there?
I mean, you can go back to plenty of old E3 conferences that just have gone terribly wrong. There was the Nintendo one where they were playing, I think it was Twilight Princess, where the controller just didn't work.
That's awesome.
There was the horrible Wii Music where they're playing fake instruments and it sounded awful. And it was just a bunch of grown men like doing this with Wiimotes, and it looked just
Oh
horrible.
yes, I remember that.
And that's part of the reason why they stopped doing them. They were looking like fools.
Yeah, they don't need to do them anymore. But I was surprised. I mean, I didn't even hear about this, but I guess it doesn't even matter because I'm
They
really
showed those
only
VR
the last
titles.
game I'm really interested in is Mortal Kombat and Days Gone, I guess.
Yeah, and from
And
what I
those are
heard,
coming out really soon.
from what I heard from people like who did watch it, and I was talking to some people, it's like where Nintendo Directs come off as like very personal, very much like an invitation to, hi, you know, we're kind of family. Here's what we got going on. This was very much like just a commercial.
Yeah.
It had no personality to it. It was very much, hi, here's a bunch of videos that you could just put up on Twitter.
Yeah.
No one would have mad. Like it probably would have gotten less backlash had it just been a bunch of tweets.
Yeah. I guess people want their fucking conventions then, if there was backlash.
I don't think they want their conventions. I think they want their presentations to have something worth mentioning.
I mean, if they're going to get backlash, they might even just drop them then. They might not even do them. They might not even be worth it.
I mean, they'll probably do these state of plays more, but like I said, I think when they have a PS5 out and they actually have games to announce without, of course,
You think they'll be at E3 when they drop a PS5?
No, they're not doing E3. They're going to show that off at PlayStation Experience.
Have they said that, or is that what you think?
Oh, no, they haven't said anything, but they
That's
definitely
probably gonna
value
be
the PlayStation Experience more because that's like their own E3 for them only. They're not competing with anybody for it.
Yeah. I still think it would be a smart move to go to E3. drop a
At this
console.
point, Microsoft,
Especially if you're before everyone else.
Microsoft has to be loving Sony not being E3, especially since they've been working so buddy with Nintendo. They have no competition when they announced their console this year.
Yeah, Microsoft better enjoy it because once Sony come hot out the gates, there goes all that free press.
Need that IP. They're gonna need IP. That's what I'm saying.
That also means there's big booths available at E3.
Are you trying to get one? A No Life booth?
No. Here's
You will pay.
Google buys out every other booth.
For Stadia?
Oh, I mean, hey, it's not. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I just think that would be funny. It's just like, all right, here's E3. It's Google and Microsoft.
There's no consoles here. It's all in the cloud.
Google, Microsoft, and Nintendo. That's what you got at E3.
All right, EOF lays off over 300 employees as part of its consolidation efforts. EA has just announced that it will be laying off 350 employees in an effort to consolidate its operations. Affected employees come from departments like marketing, publishing, analytics. As a result of these efforts, EA offices in Japan and Russia will be closing as well. This is only the latest in an increasing number of mass layoffs to affect the video game industry. Similar to the Activision Blizzard layoffs earlier this year, while Activision numbers layoffs were close to 800, departments like marketing and publishing were also impacted there. So it seems like they're scaling back mainly because I guess it's more of a downtime. They don't really need them there that much.
Not only is it a downtime, but if you look at what they were projecting versus what their games actually sold, Anthem was a disappointment. Battlefield 5 was a disappointment.
That one actually was a little bit more surprising to me, but
both of those didn't sell as well as they had projected them to sell, and because of that,
and their marketing team has just not been good. They have not been doing a good job keeping face. So you're going to have to get some new fresh people in. We'll see. Don't ever count EA out, though. They have so much fucking money.
And like I said, EA completely pulled out of E3. They're not doing anything there. Even though they weren't doing anything at E3, like they were doing their own, like, whatever. I can't remember what their event was called, but it was like part of E3 without paying the high prices. Mm-hmm. They're just not doing it at all.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they don't need to.
They don't need a space to unveil Madden 20.
That's what I was just gonna say.
They don't need it. We know it's coming.
That's the problem too with EA. For like when it's E3 timeline, it's just like, all right, here's the new Madden, here's the new NBA, here's the new college.
They just have to tweet it because the people who want it are already following them and they're just waiting for that news. Like it's not like somebody's gonna sit there and go, are they going to release Madden this year? I don't know if they're going to release Madden. Oh my God, I don't know if they're going to release it. No, they're going to release it because they always release it.
But I mean, like around that timeline, what games have they announced at E3? Like what, Anthem?
Anthem that everyone was actually kind of skeptical about to begin with.
I was excited for it to begin with, but then my skepticism grew really fast the more and more it looked like Destiny.
Yeah, Anthem was like the big one.
And it's 30-second loading or minute and a half loading times.
Yeah, that really hurt the game, actually, which is crazy.
People, I mean, that's just it's
an open world with
broken games upon launch.
You can't. Well, it's that's just a design flaw. That you're like, I'm going to try to make an open-ish or open world type game, and then just put a bunch of loading screens
with like mass instances of mass players, and it's just going to load long. They didn't optimize it. And it was also probably rushed.
I mean, how, like, you have open world games like God of War, like Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda. Their loading times are not really that bad.
Mm-hmm.
What loading
if
time?
at all, any.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what loading times?
So
they do it smart because they'll implement them into like
a minute and a half to load.
Well, they also implement them into like the cutscenes, so they're like they feel almost seamless, and you don't even know that your game's actually loading.
It's
with Anthem, it's like a straight up. You're paused for a minute.
They did a good job. They hit it all in the cutscenes. They hit it in that, but it's also like, or you just do it in a fast travel.
Grocery Boy says NCAA needs to suck it up and pay the college players so I can get NCAA football back.
Yeah. Agreed. I will still play NCAA 07. I'll still bust out that PS2.
That's an old one, dude. It's like 11 years old.
They didn't go much longer after that, dude.
Well, actually, it's like 12, 13 years.
I hate the whole like monopoly from EA and like the ownership of they're the only ones that can make an NFL.
They're
like,
not. They
game.
can. Someone can come along and pay what they have to pay to
Telling
get
you,
it, but no
if
one
you
wants to do
remember
it.
The old school like 2K NFL games are great, and the ESPN NFL game.
No.
They
What was the one
actually
that
kind
had-
of
No,
suck.
the one that had the play like the first person view where you were in the
Game
helmet.
day. That was game day.
That was dope.
Game day was cool, but
That was dope. And
they
we
were
needed-
not Madden is the best. It's a fucking football simulator, and there's so much like just stat tracking things that they put on top of it. There's so much history that you're gonna have to try to one up. So if you were a developer like I don't know, like Blizzard or someone like Activision or just like a huge conglomerate that has the money, you pay
So
for
the
that
same
license.
company.
You can enjoy your 5-hour long shot story mode.
Well, you pay the
No.
license to get the NFL on there. You make a banging ass fucking game, and
That's
then you
why
can.
they need NCAA back, because NCAA had what Longshot should have been, of just nope, you're a kid who just made it to college. Here's your dorm room, and like you get to choose events to go to, but then you still go to practice and you still play the game. Not some like, here's a really weird.
Here's a
mov-
menu.
Here's a movie with some cutscenes that you have to do quick time events in.
The closest I can remember, like, was on my career where, like, when you were a rookie, you started off in an apartment, and as you like got better, you would like increase where you were staying. But that was like the closest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was the old style, and NCAA did that great.
Yeah, but
Like that, it was just instead it was just the dorm room, but like if you won a big game, there'd be like a new newspaper on your wall with like a medal and shit like that.
yeah, and it's just unfortunate that EA is the only one that I don't know how like what their deal consists of. I don't know if there's like some sort of like clause for the future, but it would be nice to see someone buy that out because the NFL is also in need of like a PR revamp, and I think a good NFL game could really set that off. Because like I got
they
into
need the
NHL somewhat
They need
because I played NHL, and I love that fucking game. That's one
Dude,
of their
they
best
need-
games.
They need the AAFL to actually happen and actually have a minor league.
Hey
There
man,
you go.
Johnny Manziel,
Not even maybe, sure, but it's just like
he got kicked
No,
out of
there's-
the Canadian Football League. He's
I
going
know.
to the AAF. Come on.
no, but it's just one of those like I want the AAF to succeed just so they have a minor league because I'm used to every other sports where it's like no, you try to actually develop those players or they have multiple careers of oh, I can go to college or I can just really pursue being a pro but also be paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't hear about it much, but I mean, even NBA has like a AAA affiliates. Like the Sixers have the Delaware Bluecoats.
Wait, Grocery Boy says the NCAA is now paying players for minor things. What are they paying for? I thought that was like never gonna happen.
Yeah, it was just like a scandal. Usually.
Maybe they changed
know.
it.
I don't follow college sports that much.
All right, moving on. Nintendo
I just follow
getting
my
into
colleges.
VR on the Labo.
Yeah, they are, and it's about what you expect.
I was wondering what like.
What do you like? Drop a
how
switch
they
in
were
there?
gonna do- Yeah,
Yeah, that's what the Labo stuff is basically.
it's a cardboard holder for your face.
yeah, it's Google Cardboard, but instead you put your Switch in, but now you can like have your kid code a tiny game like
And
it's a tiny
I will say,
Raspberry Pi.
I will say that if they make a Pokemon Snap VR, I will buy this. I would easily buy this. I think Pokemon Snap would make a great VR game.
Not with the Switch.
Yeah, probably not with the Switch. But
It's gonna
it's a
look
good
like
idea.
complete
Get my
trash.
Joy-Cons in my hand, using the gyro.
Okay, Doobie, hold
great.
your Switch up like this and tell me how it goes. That's your VR.
It'll look okay. It'll look about as good as they did
Nope,
with the
closer,
3D.
closer. Yeah, basically there. Okay, so how's that gonna go for you? Because that's your VR experience.
I think my nose is actually touchscreening it.
Yeah, I don't know about this. It's interesting, but they need
I mean,
to.
I
I
think
mean, I would like a 4K
it's-
Switch instead, and then you can drop that in, and then you can maybe get some good VR.
I mean, there's a potential for a premium Switch.
Potential.
Potential, yeah. Go have fun getting that premium from Nvidia at the moment.
If we listen to what the Wall Street Journal's talking about,
Well, the Wall Street
did
Journal
see
says
that.
2 new Nintendo Switch models coming: a premium and a cheaper portable model.
But what I did see that, and it's just really intriguing and hopeful. Because I mean, okay, I own a Switch, but I need a second Switch because I have
My-
two people.
My thing is like, like I said before, and I said it again. Like,
Well, real quick, one is supposed to be a more powerful unit than the current Switch model that you can purchase today. More powerful than the one you can purchase today. It won't be as powerful as Xbox One or PS4 Pro, obviously, but basically more powerful than the current model. And the second model will be a cheaper one with an emphasis on handheld play and portability.
Like we said before, I can easily see that one being legit. Because, I mean, if you take out the HD Rumble, you take out the Bluetooth, you keep the controllers attached only, you don't have it dock.
Right.
There's a lot of things you can pull out of there to increase battery life, to lower cost.
Yeah.
I honestly see that because the 3DS, the 3DS is dead. It's dead. It's a dead system.
Good.
Great games on it, but it's not selling anymore.
There's nothing good about it.
And if you're a parent of a kid, and let's be honest, the 3DS and these other handhelds are great systems for children. And that's not saying the games are for children. I'm saying the systems are great for children. A $300 price point is bad for like that's a parent's not going to buy that for their like 7-year-old kid. If you make it $200, that's a little more appealing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just you could do that with an X1 chip, but like,
I mean, I gotta imagine NVIDIA is always working on something new. So I mean, maybe they are working on. I mean, I don't know.
They are, but they aren't.
Tegra.
Yeah, like they are and they aren't because NVIDIA is really weird.
And it makes sense for Nintendo to invest in a revamp.
Honestly, no.
Because of all the issues they have with hacking and stuff like that, the exploits.
True, I did have this thought a couple of days ago though.
By the way, we should see them at E3 this year.
Okay. What I'd really want, actually, which will never happen in a million years, so we got to go back to NVIDIA. But, like, real talk, can we just get, like, a minor Apple partnership?
Like a Nintendo Apple, like a Johnny Ive designed Nintendo
I don't give a
Switch.
shit. No, I don't give a shit what it looks like. If you want a really small, powerful, cheap Switch or cheap CPU that is going to power a Switch to be what it can be, yeah, just go see if you can buy some A12s or A13s, whatever the new Apple chip's going to be.
That would be dope.
It's a beast of a chip.
That would be dope.
I don't care about the actual product itself, like fuck it, like not Apple design, like it's still a Nintendo product, but if they could just if they could buy those ARM chips basically.
I mean, they were
but Apple's got that whole arcade thing now.
They were competing with Apple for.
No, I know it'll never happen. I know it will never happen, but like that to me is the real dream, just because it's like that.
I mean, I would like. How about Nintendo just says fuck the Switch? They team up with Apple. They make the games for the iPhone, and then just make like a dock for that fucking iPhone, and give me controllers for the iPhone. I don't need the Switch. I just want the games.
I think that would be.
You don't want iPhone.
That would be a way that
take your beat, dude.
Yeah, that'd
you
be
would
a
buy
way
it. You would buy an iPhone. If
They ain't gonna do that because let's
Nintendo,
be honest, Apple. I don't know what the I don't know how Apple's
you
Japanese
would buy
market,
5
I gotta
iPhones if
imagine-
Nintendo
I gotta
released Breath of the
imagine
Wild
that
on the iPhone.
Samsung has a really big market presence in Japan.
Yeah, Samsung's way bigger than Apple in Japan.
I gotta imagine like Apple's
all
not
of the-
the dominant share in Japan. So
No,
let's
all of the East,
if anything.
Yeah. All of the East is Samsung. Wow, it's all Korea and China.
Because I'm sorry, the West is a secondary market for Nintendo. Their big moneymaker is Japan.
Just doesn't.
We are the
I still
secondary
want to
market.
dream, okay?
Sorry, that was not to derail that and go
can
into
still dream.
arguments. Yeah, this is just a dream of like,
Yeah,
if you want the best ARM chip for your console, that's where you got to go at the moment, because right now that's what I'm worried about for 4K. There's a lot of ARM chips that can play 4K like video. Getting them to actually run a game at 4K is still pretty hard. It is possible, obviously, but NVIDIA is weird because they put a lot of put a lot of GPU power into their chips, which is good. You want that, obviously, but NVIDIA's never made. Okay, I'll put it this way: the X1 and the older K1s and stuff. The K1's using ARM. It's all ARM, but it's Cortex A15 chips. The X1 is 53. They're not even using the top line 70 stuff that's used in phones.
Mhm.
So like if you could get Nvidia to like say go, hey, use like a 74 size Cortex A74 size chip, maybe you could start pushing towards that with the graphics power that Nvidia puts into.
I'm curious to see this new premium model. That's the one that interests me. I'm sure it interests others as well.
They could have it, but that's what I'm expecting. They're gonna be coming out with if they release a Switch Premium.
I just can't see it being that big of a jump. Maybe it'll be a Switch that is like a little bit bigger. Maybe it has like just 1080p all the way, handheld 1080p.
It fixes the exploit, of course.
Yeah, it's maybe it's a little built a little bit better, so it's like
larger battery life.
Maybe it's like made of like metal or something. I mean, that would be sick.
Definitely larger battery life, like honestly.
Oh yeah. Or just, I mean, it would be nice if they gave us swappable batteries.
Yeah, you ain't gonna see that.
No, unfortunately.
Guarantee you ain't gonna see that. Not even Samsung does that anymore.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone.
That would be nice. Nintendo is also adjusting suppliers for the new model. Sharp Corp, an Osaka-based company, had the long supply components to Nintendo video game machines, but failed to win a deal with the original Switch. It expected to provide liquid crystal displays for the new Switch machines. People familiar with the new model said. Sharp declined to comment. Suppliers and third-party game developers say Nintendo is preparing to release new game titles from well-known franchises such as Animal Crossing, Pokemon, to bolster Switch hardware sales. So it'll probably get released with a big game or something.
Do you remember when like all the Switch, like when there was a large there was like a big shortage of Switches? A lot of that was because they were competing with Apple for the parts, because they were sharing the same parts. I believe a lot of it was screens. And a lot of the companies in Japan that were creating those screens, like manufacturing them, were giving them to Apple because Apple was paying them more money. That's why Nintendo had a problem like making more Switches, because they couldn't get a hold of parts.
And Apple did not want to pay that price either. So they were trying everything they could to not have to use those screens. No. They were charging. But when you control the screens, you control the whole device. So why wouldn't you charge the most you possibly could?
No, of course. And Apple was they didn't like it, but they were the ones
they literally had to. They had no other choice.
Yeah, they were going to pay the higher price. Nintendo had to pretty much wait.
Honestly, it could be
stock.
Yeah,
and that could be a good thing especially with Nintendo Switches, because real talk, like the Switcher screen is trash.
Yeah, it's
good. Not the greatest. It really
it's trash.
It's plastic.
Yeah,
it's a plastic screen. I had to get a glass screen cover for it.
I would love to see a glass screen on that thing. Like, give me a much more vibrant screen.
You could get one of those screen protectors, and it makes it feel better. It doesn't really change the color.
It's like such a weak workaround.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it does make it feel better.
Games. I mean, I enjoy playing it in bed, but I would love to really like have those colors pop.
Like a phone.
I'd love an OLED glass screen. Yeah, that'd be great. But that's what I want from the premium. Put it in a better chip and then give me like an OLED glass screen. Let's go.
Leave the plastic screen on your light, because let's be honest, kids are going to drop the shit out of that. So make that shit cheap as hell.
Yeah.
Could be cool. Could be worth it. Might not.
If I could have cloud saving and I can play my games in between, I'd probably, I probably wouldn't. I mean, I might buy a premium for home and for the bedroom, and then just have my portable Switch just on the go. Just have my other Switches, my new handheld, and just make that handheld only.
Yeah, I really don't have too many issues with the Switch now, other than battery life, and the brightness is a little low. And the Joy-Cons start to feel a little loose in the socket after a while.
Yeah. Like that, it's all minor problems. I can live with the screen being trash and this and that. Like, would I be open to them making a new one? Yes, but
I'd buy one immediately.
Depending on how much they charge for it.
Yeah,
I mean, I would imagine.
Say they charge $300. Is that the price of the Switch now?
That's the price of the Switch.
If that's the price of the Switch now, if they charge $300 for that, price cut the regular Switch, or discontinue it and have only these two models, which I guess would be a possibility.
What if they charge $400?
Some people pay it.
A little high for me, because I'm going to want to buy the PS5 when it comes out for $500. Because let's be freaking honest, you know those next gen systems from PlayStation and Xbox ain't gonna be 400.
They might not even be 500.
If they're more than 500, they can fuck themselves.
You'd pay for it though.
No, you just go buy a computer like me and be awesome.
Keep my PC and be like, hey, Microsoft, I see you releasing games on PC. Thanks, bud.
But then you wouldn't be able to play God of War.
Cool.
It's all until that one game comes out that you have to get.
I'll wait till
And
it's on
honestly,
sale.
the
Black
only
Fridays.
that
A year
only
later.
game that's been like that for me has been Pokemon.
For the Switch?
Yep.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was like all of these great games that I'm sitting here raving about and loving. I can live without a place.
Wayne, I've told you before, and I'll tell you again: never underestimate the power of the Pokemon fan base.
It's
It's
partially that Pokemon, but it's also like that's also not my game style. Like for my games, I just like different games. So sure, God of War is fun, but I don't care about action adventure, and that's what really excels on console.
Yeah, that's basically it.
And
I mean,
like that's like
maybe
it's
first
fun
person.
and all.
And if you're like me, you're into that hardcore niche of JRPGs.
And you can get that on your fucking
Switch.
calculator. Those
Yeah.
games are literally just like sliding slideshows.
Dragon Quest was fantastic on PlayStation. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, we got some tech news. Well, I'm buying a computer.
Oh, we got. I was gonna
But
say.
we still have more.
Oh, we have another story?
There's still some more. Yeah,
one
you
more.
gotta update it. There's a
And this
couple.
is-
I
this
added
is
a couple.
local for me and you.
Yeah, I added a couple more to that too.
I'd probably have to exit and sync. But that Philadelphia Fusion Stadium,
Oh, I see here.
South Philly, baby. Most expensive stadium in the Western Hemisphere dedicated to esports.
It looks fucking sick, dude.
The architecture is like, I'm digging the architecture. It looks sleek and modern.
Kate, look at this. There's an esports arena in South Philly. They just built it. You know what
Well, they didn't
esports
build it
arena
yet.
is?
It's not built
opening-
yet.
It's opening in 2021.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna start building on it.
Right across from Xfinity Live.
What are you doing?
Okay, so like if you
Okay,
know
look.
like South Philly, you've got Citizens Bank Park, which is the baseball stadium. Then you've got the Lincoln Financial Field.
Kids, this is so stupid.
You've got Wells Fargo Center for the Sixers and the Flyers. And then right in the middle, you have like Xfinity Live, like there's a big bar, there's food, there's Chicky and Pete's. And right across from there, they're going to build the Fusion Arena for the Philadelphia Fusion Overwatch team. 3,500 seats. I think there's there's going to be like bar options. There's going to be a training center, team offices. And then they're also going to open up for concerts to be held there. So it's a concert venue. And then other gaming events. So, I mean, I'm wondering maybe if they bring in a Dota 2 or a League of Legends.
They're gonna have.
But you know they're going to
They're
do.
gonna have to.
Well,
They
how
have
many
to
other
back-
gaming arenas are there in the U.S.?
None.
That are large?
Yeah,
There's LCS, but like if you're talking dedicated gaming,
dedicated
no,
gaming.
there's not. There's
Esports
nothing.
Arena in LA.
Yeah, but like that, that's where
Mandalay
stuff like
Bay.
that.
There's the Mandalay Bay, which has that hosts Evo in Vegas.
Right, but that's
They're not dedicated.
That's what he's saying. Like, and that's what I'm saying. No, there's the league studios, and there's esports arena. Like
The closest
every other event is a rented out space from
and
some
or
other
you have places like Nerd Street Gamers, which is like local host
Yeah.
arena, but they're small. They're
and
very
Nerd. By the way, fuck this. Go to Nerd Street.
Yo,
I mean,
Nerd
this is
Street's
cool,
dope.
though.
Nerd Street's dope. Local host in right in Philly, 3rd Street. Like they got
I even though I don't live in Philly or give a shit about Philly, Nerd
Oh, you
Street's
love
awesome. No, I
Ryan
love
Howard. Ryan Howard, I think, is one of the like people that pays for.
No, I look, dude. Nerd Street for the long time has put on some of the best minor CS:GO tournaments. My giant mouse pet that's a sloth is a Nerd Street pet.
They just opened one in Denver, so they've got local host in Denver as well. They're expanding. So
To
it's
me,
not
it
just
makes
in-
sense if you live in Philly, like Drexel, UPenn, and
Dude, they're gonna
Villanova,
bring these
all
buses.
here.
They bring the buses right to the campus and bring them over to the Overwatch games. You know they're gonna make, and people like who are
These are
older
like nerdy
"Oh,
schools,
you're
you know
gonna
what I
make
mean?
money."
These are like nerdy schools, so it makes sense. There's gonna be a lot of gaming.
Philadelphia seems to be a really one of
Nerdville.
the. I don't want to say one of like the forefront, but they are kind of on the forefront of esports.
Well, they're on the not
Yeah.
on esports, no, but like for this, they are kind of.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this sounds amazing, but the skeptic inside of me is like, that's a lot of money
It is a lot
that
of-
you
but here's the
don't
thing.
know is going to actually work.
Here's the thing I am happy about. It's not being done with taxpayer money. They didn't have
That's
to go
good.
through
It
tax.
is with
All
Comcast.
being done through Comcast.
But that's also terrifying to me that, like, congrats, you now have the Comcast.
It's a big investment for them, you know.
Yeah, the
not
Comcast
cheap.
esports team.
It's
The
not cheap.
Comcast Internet Sports Team.
No, you know what
everything
Meek Mill
going on.
Meek Mill called it e-gaming team. Meek Mill wanted to start an e-gaming team.
Hey man, he's in Philly.
He's
got a
probably
place.
gonna fucking invest in this.
Yeah,
He is
to
an
be honest.
investor.
I mean,
Now,
how
if
much money
Comcast is
Starbucks
behind
sell
it, this
out
is going to be rented out in every possible
Yeah,
way.
and
I mean,
it's
they're
gonna
going to
have
make
to
their
be.
money
Oh,
back
yeah.
easily.
it's more just it's a cool venue. I hope it works out well, but it's also one of those, it has to be rented to more sports. This is the biggest problem I have with Overwatch and the OWL, to be honest. Same with League and things like that.
How much?
Okay, if you're making an esports arena, that's awesome, but you have to make it an esports arena. You can't make it
Just
this is the
Overwatch.
Philadelphia Fusion Arena and things like that, because these games, it's a fucking video game. These have shelf lives. Esports doesn't like.
Is it going to be able to evolve?
Right, exactly. It's one of those, like, CS is a big groundbreaker because holy shit, CS has actually existed for 19 years. What other
StarCraft 2.
StarCraft 2 is dead now. And that was also, again, example, StarCraft 2, because the first one did really good. So the first one died and then kind of came back. That's more my point, is like,
In fighting games, like, it's always a new system.
yeah, but
yeah,
you just get a new game. Like, it's just
Right.
It's just a
And that-
space, really.
right. And that's what I'm saying
You
is
have to make sure. Yeah, you have to make sure.
you can't say, nope, this is the home of the Fusion and that's all it is, because real talk, the Fusion's not even a team until Overwatch League had to rebrand actual esports teams.
Is that training facility going to be open for public classes? Is it going to be only focused on Overwatch classes? Is it going to maybe like focus on other
No,
things?
it's gonna be at the game.
Open for
No,
other
it's-
tournaments to be held there?
That's mostly for the team.
This
I
is
want to see a Smash.
is
I want to
the-
see a Smash major held in there. That'd be dope as
And
hell.
this
they're
is literally going to
probably
be
will.
just like a place that just gets rented out to everything.
Yeah,
You're
except
going to see
like, and
comedy
they'll
shows in there. You're going to see,
And how
you
much
except
know,
for the
tickets-
team offices, like
how
there'll
much
be
tickets
that
gonna
little team
cost?
office area where they do have their training facility. But that's not like a public training facility. That's their team house, but it's the office for their team house.
Yeah.
But like the
Just
rest of it, to me, it's just like, it's really cool, but you have to immediately go into it of like, no, this is just a venue, and esports is going to be there. Other things are going to be there, but it's just going to be an esports venue, not an
wonder-
Overwatch League venue.
I want to see how much tickets are going to cost for the first like game there for Overwatch. And
I
Wayne,
don't
would
know.
Would you go see a match there
yeah.
just to experience it?
Yeah, just for
I'm down. I'll
like
go.
for Overwatch for sure.
I'd try. I would check it out
That's-
for at least one game.
I just like that.
That's the
That
other-
area is so fun. It's
Yeah.
such a
I
fun
love South
area.
Philly.
That sounds cool.
Hit up Tony Luke's right after.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
all
That's
the
the other,
Ubers, like there's like a great Uber system, so you're not waiting forever in line. They just kind of filter in and out, or you
The
can
nice
catch a
thing with- I
bus.
mean, it's also like South Philly, like the sports complex. It's one of the smartest, I think, when they came to develop the city and how it is, because it's Philly, but it's so close to Jersey to get in.
Yeah.
It's not in the city. It's
No.
like right outside of the city in its own little corner, but you can also get to the city quick.
It's right off the highway. Right
Sure,
off the,
but it
right
was
off the highway.
I want that crap downtown too.
You can get
Because
to downtown very quickly. You can get to South Street.
not
easy.
quickly. I want to go. I want to go to the Joe Louis Arena right in downtown, and then go to the Coney.
I mean, it's not
right off
like
the
I
highway.
mean, it's not like Nashville, where the Preds play is right there
Yeah.
on Lower Broadway.
Right.
No.
That's
You
what
walk
I
down
like.
and you're at the bars.
No,
It's
this one you gotta
that's what
catch an Uber after, or catch a bus.
You don't even
but
need
it's
to
like a 5-minute trip. You know.
Have you ever been to Nashville,
Yeah.
Wayne?
No, I've never been there. No.
Go to Nashville. It's a lot of fun.
No, I know. My friend keeps telling me I have to go visit him.
And like I said, right on Lower Broadway, where all the 60 plus bars are, is the arena for the Predators.
Yeah. No, but this is really cool. I hope it works well. I'm just as a warning, a long esports veteran watcher.
Your optimistic skepticism.
Yes, because it's one of those, like, there's a saying in esports a lot of us have that it's like, yeah, no, the year's measured in 3 months.
And it's
And
open
now you're making a stadium that's going to not open for another
for
2
another 2 years for a
It's
game
like-
that's already how old?
It's already like 3 years old. So you're like, Is
No,
this
by the
game gonna
time
be
it opens, they're not.
relevant?
They probably won't even have Overwatch. It'll probably be something else.
Yeah, that's my point.
They'll probably
You
just
gotta
keep
make
the
it an
name
esports
in
fight.
the city. So any team that wants to start and be backed
Who
by Philadelphia, you'll be
sponsors?
Fusion.
Who sponsors?
Right, but that's the thing is like
I have no
that's
idea.
esports is until Overwatch League has never given a shit about your city. It's never been a city thing because that's the beauty of the internet, but also the hard part of the internet. You can't have like a national worldwide league like they're trying to have very easily because the internet fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You want to go beat the Koreans who have 5 ping in their country while you're sitting in America with like 60? Yeah, have fun.
I hate to break it to you, Richard Boy Jr. in the chat, but all of the stadiums in Philadelphia, not only have they gotten rid of their smoking sections, they've gotten rid of all sections where you can vape or smoke in the stadiums.
So is that why Philly fans are always pissed?
I mean, Citizens Bank Park, you can't do anything there. Wells Fargo, you can't do anything there anymore. They got rid of all of those sections.
Yeah.
They are now completely 100% smoke free.
Yeah, it's a shame. And so is the airport. If you want
I
to
mean,
try to catch up.
I still take my vape in and go to the bathroom. You think I give a shit?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still a little risky.
Hell yeah, Ryan, boys.
It's still a little risky.
No, everywhere I go, you
Kate!
just go walk outside.
All right. And this is the Stadia, Google Stadia's internet recommendations.
I added that, and then I added, yeah. So basically, Stadia coming out, very devices
didn't see that.
opinions of everyone in the world. But basically, what they're trying to say is 4060 will be roughly 30 megabytes per second down, and then 1080 will be roughly 25 at the start.
So it's doable. I mean, you have to have pretty
That's-
good internet, but it
Dude,
is
that's
doable.
not that good of internet. That's like 4G.
I mean, the last pack that we had with Comcast was like just topping out at like 30 megabits per second.
That used to be the old one, which is a shitty pack. I think everything's gone to 100 down now at least.
Oh, really?
I have my optimistic skepticism. I want to see it in action before I can really form a concrete opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like what's the upload? Did they say anything about an upload?
They haven't said anything about that. This is their current recommendations, and they're saying it uses a lot less, but this is where we're setting the recommendations at.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to know what the upload is because I feel like that's going to be a hitter for a lot of people.
True.
You know?
I mean, upload is usually like the big choke point.
Yeah.
Well, that's for uploading stuff, things like that. But now you're thinking, okay, for input lag, yeah, upload matters a lot.
Yeah. You're going to want something that's pretty, at least stable. You know, if you can get like whatever the recommended is and you can get that stable, then you should be pretty good.
But I did want to add, honestly, if they can actually pull up 4K 60 at 30 megabytes down, that's pretty good.
No, they definitely can. I
'Cause
definitely think they
like,
can.
That's nothing, to be honest, for the most part. Like
No.
the only people who are going to suffer under that are those sad folks who, I'm sorry, you're using AT&T.
Yeah.
And even AT&T is better than that now, I think.
I mean, it's essentially just showing you a video feed and just connecting the fucking controller to the server. So I definitely think they'll be able to do it. I just want to see what that lag is like. I want to see what the latency is. If it's not that bad. Because NVIDIA's game stream wasn't that bad. Like I was saying, I was playing PUBG with it, and it wasn't that bad. So if I can only imagine how far it's gotten since then. That was like 2 years ago. All right, and the last gaming news here. Then we have a couple tech stories from wowhead.com.
Okay,
Look at this website. What the fuck is this?
Dude,
All right,
you
what's
never
going
been
on?
to that old Wowhead? I won a book from them like 10 years ago.
Let's go. What's going on with this, Jerry?
Okay,
Give us a quick rundown.
this is my Blizzard rant because Blizzard just wants to alienate every former customer they've ever had. They ended up banning, I think the total was like, they banned like a couple of thousand of people, like in the thousands going double-digit thousands, because people used a potion and you could stack it to level faster through old shitty content that everyone has leveled through for 15 years, never wants to see again. And people asked them for days if this was a bug or an exploit. and they never responded and then banned everybody.
Why? Why do you think they did that? Is there an answer?
Dude, it's because like it is technically an exploit, but it more pissed me off that it was like, okay, people had been asking them for like 3 days. All they needed to do was on Twitter say, yes, it's an exploit, don't do it, and we're trying to fix it.
No,
But
you said they were
never
banning
said
like bigger players, right?
Yeah, no, they banned like Preach, they banned like they banned YouTube and streamers and stuff like that for doing it for like 30 days for an entire month because they were trying to level faster. Because no one wants to level faster, especially in BFA, because BFA fucking sucks.
Well,
So
yeah,
basically, they made
why?
a shit game. People are just trying to level to the end game faster, and now they're just banning everyone who exploited this potion bug.
That's crazy.
And it's more just that like they never said, and I didn't get banned. I don't fucking play this game, but like it's just more that they never said anything about it when people were asking them 100 times on Twitter, like, is this a bug? Like they're reporting it. Is this an exploit? Like, is this intended? Can we do this or no?
What did you have to do?
You just had to stack a couple of potions.
Mm.
It was in a little bit of a weird way, but you just stack multiple potions that weren't supposed to be stacked because the potion's still bugged. It still doesn't even say you how long it goes for. Like it's it's broken so badly. But then they banned a bunch of people. They banned a bunch of big people. And then what pissed me off the most was Lore, one of their customer service like reps, got like super smug about all of the people and especially the big people being banned. And it's just like, dude, they asked you for like 3 days and you didn't say a fucking word and now you're acting smug. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, Blizzard's not doing so hot on PR these days. I don't know what they're up to.
You're telling me you don't want to play the next Diablo on your phone?
No, I'm not telling you that. I definitely want to play it on my fucking phone. You got the wrong guy for that.
Their PR people were so bad.
Not for me, dude. I'm hype as fuck for Diablo on my phone.
It's the whole Activision thing where it's also more just like the old CMs and stuff like that are now just being shitty as fuck because they're taking a lot of abuse, which some deserve, some not. You know, no one deserves death threats, stuff like that. But at the same time, they should be getting tons of abuse for not abuse. That's the wrong word, but they should be getting chewed out because like BFA sucks ass. It's a terrible fucking game. They've ruined almost everything that was fun about it. And then they're just sitting there like, well, no, this is great. We're doing the right thing. And fuck you guys.
All right. Moving on to tech. Microsoft wants an industry-wide moderation after New Zealand. So they put out this blog post called A Tragedy That Calls for More Than Words, the need for the tech sector to learn and act after events in New Zealand. 4 months ago, when our Microsoft team first had plans for a visit to New Zealand that began yesterday, we did not expect to arrive on the heels of a violent terrorist attack that would kill innocent people, horrify a nation, and shock the world. Like so many other people around the globe, across Microsoft, we mourn the victims and our hearts go out to their families and loved ones. This includes 2 of the individuals killed who were part of the broader Microsoft partner community. Words are not alone are not enough. Across the tech sector, we need to do more, especially for those who operate social networks or digital communication tools or platforms that were used to amplify the violence. It's clear that we need to learn from and take new action based on what happened in Christchurch. So essentially, they said like we should basically, us as a tech community and the communications community should take it upon ourselves. Shout out for the follow. Who was that? Let me make sure. Shout out to him, Hokage, for the follow. Basically, because of this situation, they want to take. They think it's their responsibility to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And by this, I mean there was a distribution of his stream, his live stream of this horrific, fucking mass murder, and the distribution of it was like rampant. It happened very quickly. I don't know if you can stop something like that. But they do want to, Microsoft is saying we should come together and figure out solutions to make this part of our responsibility to make sure that this doesn't happen. I think, personally, the opposite. I think that stuff like this needs to spread. I think stuff like this needs to get distributed. Will it create more radicalization amongst certain people? Sure. but I think ultimately it does more good than it does harm. The more people you expose to like horrific stuff like this, the more you kind of harden the world. The more these people are like, holy shit, this is what's going on. This is how people are acting because of certain words and certain things. I don't think suppressing any sort of information is ever a good idea. It's tricky.
Yeah,
I understand it's
one
tricky.
Of those, like, I agree with your principle there, but I can see how there are some exceptions to the rule, if that makes sense.
This would be a pretty big exception. You know what I mean? This would be the exception. A mass murder being filmed.
But also, it's also like the way the mass murder went down, things like that. Like
Like, I get it. I get it.
No one needs to actually see what this was.
No, I
This
don't. I don't.
wasn't Live League. This was fucking horrific.
Yeah, I don't. I agree there that I don't think anyone should view it, but I also don't think that it should be immediately suppressed. I don't think there should be algorithms put in place to try to prevent stuff like this, because I think that this is just going to happen, and I do think the distribution of information is more powerful than it is negative.
Right. I again agree with the principle. It's just
and how do you even stop it?
Yeah, that I have no idea. And
they're just going to come up with dumb ways that are just going to do more harm than good, I think.
Same time, I don't know if Microsoft's actually going to do anything about it. I doubt it. But I do like them putting this out just because it is an ethical question. And
yeah, it's like them saying, like, should we be responsible for this?
Yeah, like it's an ethical quandary that should actually be discussed. And like, what is that role? Like, it goes down to like developers too, of like, what is an ethical developer? And it's asking a question of, does this pertain to that or not? And I do kind of like it from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Of actually getting people to like wonder, or at least come up with arguments on both sides of what the correct response is.
Yeah, it's an interesting debate and topic, because I do understand why you would want to not distribute stuff like this, you know. But then again, what's the line? Is this the line? Because they're still distributing Mein Kampf, you know what I mean? They're still distributing a lot of like the KKK materials. Like, it's kind of like part of history. And that's kind of what changes the global narrative. And this this was a pretty big event that did kind of tell people, like, look, there is this crazy radicalization going on. There's this huge divide, and it's getting really violent now. And I think hopefully people learn from it and say, all right, let's get our shit together and stop arguing about dumb shit. But then again, you're also allowing the video of a mass murder to be distributed amongst other people. So it's tricky. I don't know the answer, but it's good to see this debate to be brought up by these tech companies, because ultimately it was done on their platforms. You know, I don't know if specifically Microsoft is to be held responsible. Where did he live stream it to? Was it YouTube or Facebook?
I don't know. I don't watch live stream. I just saw real uploads.
I didn't see it either.
And don't. That's my recommendation.
No, I didn't see it either. I don't know where it was live streamed. I just heard it was. But I'm curious, because I don't know if we've heard anything else, if it was announced by anyone, if it was live streamed. Like if it was on Facebook, I didn't hear Facebook come out and say their feeling on the matter.
And well, it is an interesting, because also like all of these companies definitely have a lot of shit in their closets.
Grimes says he thinks it's Facebook, by the way.
I can see that.
I think so too.
It's one of those, like, all of these companies have they all have a lot of skeletons in their closets, but it is at the top, I don't expect any of these companies to change. But for everyone who's working for these companies, I think this is an interesting idea to think about.
Yeah. All right. Well, Google is trying to create they are creating an external advisory board council to help advance the responsible development of AI. So they basically want to create a board to make sure that AI is being developed ethically, which is really interesting, because they also see that AI could essentially be a threat if developed in the wrong hands and developed by the wrong people. And I'm interested in why people are so afraid of AI. Because I understand it in like the dystopian future, but
Well, no,
right now we can't even get fucking Siri to turn my fucking TV on right.
Dude, it's 80 years of fantastic science fiction writing.
Yeah. Like they're creating boards on AI now. That's crazy.
Right. Well, it is a good step, but it's also like no, we're
It's
nowhere
a needed
close.
step.
We're nowhere close to Rogue, Terminator at all, anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's something you do want to think about before you get to Terminator.
And I'm sure there's something being developed where they've said, you know what, maybe we need to make an advisory board. Like this wasn't just an idea that they just had, because they have to pay for this, you know? So I'm sure they're developing some sort of AI where the lines could get blurred a little bit. Maybe it has something to do with data, you know, some sort of like privacy data or ad tracking. And then they were like, let's get a bunch of people together that can make sure that Terminator doesn't form or that Skynet doesn't form. Because maybe that's the answer here.
But it is one of those
Shout
like
out to Kim Smithwick for the subscription. Thank you.
of like long-term things happening bad. No, nothing's gonna happen bad.
Yeah, I
anytime.
don't think so either.
But
we're still pretty far away.
But the way some of it is heading, where it could go work with machine learning, and that's the hard part is like, what's AI, what's machine learning, and every company wants to fucking combine those keywords instead of using them appropriately.
Yeah, like before they create this freaking new dimension of Earth, we're gonna need an advisory board to make sure that we can't get hacked in our new dimension. So
yeah, but like it is again going back to what I was just talking about. Like it is an ethical quandary that you got to start thinking about at some point.
Google
are these people? I don't know who these people are though. That's the other problem. Like who the fuck is Alessandro Acquisini?
Yeah, they're probably some shillery going on.
Sorry, like what these? I'm sorry.
Google
all of these people's names are just absolutely.
They were made in an AI system.
Yeah,
named in a random AI generator.
I want to meet all of these people: Alessandro Acquisini, Boubacar Ba, Kai, Diane Gibbons, but spelled D-Y-A-N, Deanne Gibbons, Joanna Bryson, Kay Coles James, Luciano Floridi, William Joseph Burns.
All right.
This is like this is the AI created director.
They're probably not even real. Probably made from fucking AI. Google experiment will directly fund the creation of local digital-only news publications. So you were basically saying they want to fund this project to basically give these smaller-sized cities some sort of local news where the print local news just basically doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, no, this is actually interesting to me. It's another Google X thing, so it'll live for 2 years and then die horrifically, like all of the Google X experiment stuff. But the idea is they want to find 3 cities under 500,000 people living in it, population, that's the word I'm looking for, and that is like lost local newspapers to try to see if they can fund journalists to basically make an online version of the local news.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I don't know. That's an interesting idea to me. Because if you could make
local news is very important.
Exactly. Like if you could make it feasible or help help journalists figure out how to feasibly run local news, even if it's just online, that's a huge plus that the journalism industry itself hasn't figured out yet.
Yeah. This was from the Google News Initiative, which celebrated its first anniversary with new fact-checking and expanded subscription tools, as well as analytics dashboard. All right. We'll talk about the Apple keynote last. Firefox. What's this?
Oh,
Android Lockbox.
Android's getting Lockbox, which iPhone has had. And basically all it is an app that connects to your Firefox account and remembers all of your passwords.
Oh, okay.
So it is it's not to the extent of something like a LastPass or a 1Password, things like that, but it will remember all of your passwords and you can go in, so you can go and edit them.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been able to have that on iPhone, but not Android, and now they're releasing it to Android, which to me is a big thing because Mozilla does a lot of these really cool little experiments like this lockbox, which I use a lot. But a lot of them are, since it's all just mostly open source little teams, a lot of it's like, well, yeah, this was made by an iOS developer who doesn't know anything about Android, so it's just on iOS.
Right.
And like vice versa. Like Android, they have a really fantastic Notes app that's only on Android. That now that I've switched to iPhone again, I really miss having that app.
Yeah.
So I want to see them doing more of putting their apps out on all platforms because some of them are pretty nice. But if you just need like a basic password manager, that like I would still say go get it like 1Pass or LastPass. But
100%.
If you are just doing that for simple sites, it is a pretty good little password manager of just at least remembering what your logins are. And what I use it for the most is updating things that I've never used in LastPass because it has my Firefox account, so it remembers, oh yeah, I logged into eBay 10 years ago on this one account that I've completely forgotten about, and like things like that. So if it's an interesting tool that I would suggest using, at the very least, if you're not going to actually go get LastPass 1Password.
Definitely get LastPass or 1Pass or Dashlane. They make life a lot easier. Plus, they'll email you. At least Dashlane does it for me. They'll email you. Like Facebook just had a login breach, so it's like, hey, change your passwords, and then it's just like one press and it'll change it for you, which is really cool. All right, Mozilla also for Firefox for iPad launched with split screen support.
Yep. So you have other options too for your iPad if you want to use the generic iOS split screen function.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Finally, Apple had a keynote. I wrote a little article on it on the website.
They had a really
I thought it was not very good.
It was pretty shit, yeah.
But they had a couple cool, interesting things. So they started off the show with Apple News Plus. So all their new stuff is like plus. They had a plus at the end.
Which is it's fucking stupid.
It's better than any other names that they've fucking tried to do before. It's gotten too confusing.
All right, so you got a really low bar set.
Yes.
You did it.
But Apple News Plus is basically they combine texture into the news aggregator.
Which everyone knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
At least I knew because I paid for texture for a long time.
Yeah.
I knew as soon as they bought it, it's like, well, there goes texture. But they made it cheaper. So.
Yeah, it's $9.99. You get all the magazines that were already on texture. They're all over on this new thing. You just click a button, you can start reading it, or you can download them if you want to read offline. And then it also integrates into their news aggregation where you can get things like New York Times, Wall Street Journal, a bunch of other sites as well. And it's just all in like I mean, Apple News to me is really, the design of it is really beautiful. It's really easy to read. One thing I didn't like about texture is that it's kind of new when I used it. So a lot of it was like PDF style. You just kind of had to flip pages. But now it's like you click an article and then you just scroll to read it. So it's like seamless.
And then, well, that is something I was hoping they would change more. Actually, is even though it still does seem pretty seamless, it's still not what I really wanted from texture in Apple News Plus. It's still like, okay, this is a magazine, when it's just like, well, that's great. I don't want the magazine anymore. I want the really good long form article, and that's it.
Yeah. It's like, a little like that, but it's still kind of a magazine.
Yeah. Like it's not like no, right now it's
There's
like I still have to scroll through 3 pages of ads to get to the actual article I want.
Yeah.
I would rather it just be like, okay, I can like click on the article.
Yeah.
Instead of, nope, now I have to open up the magazine and scroll through ads to get to the one article I wanted to read out of the magazine.
Well, some magazines that you can read, there's barely any ads, which is nice. Some of them are done really, really well. Like a lot of the fashion mags are done really well. Like they have like video instead of just like stock images. And overall, it's just like a nice experience. It's $9.99. And that's the thing. It's like I already pay for a bunch of stuff for content like that, so it kind of makes it cheaper for me. It's kind of like a pretty good deal in that sense.
For world news, it's like getting Texture in New York Times for $10. Yeah, you're doing pretty good then.
Right.
Or like for more national ties, world news, important stuff, it's great. I still prefer Google News, to be honest.
Yeah, there's no. Well, at least there was no personalization. I don't know how it's gonna work with Apple News Plus. But Google did serve a lot more stories that I wanted to read.
Yeah, like if I wanted,
but it's just not in like a magazine news style way. It's more just like here's the web page.
Like the way I use them, and I'm switching to the Apple Plus news fucking the new news, whatever the fuck they want to call it. I'm gonna switch that. I'm already paying for Texture, so yeah, I'll take the $5 discount.
Yeah,
for the what I already use. You know what I mean? But at the same time, how I use them is I go to Apple News when I'm like, I need to read this story about something that's happening in the US. Like I'll do that in the morning and at night. But if I'm sitting on the toilet, I'm going to Google News every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious to know how much I'm gonna be using Google News now that this is all implemented. Because I got rid of Texture a little bit ago, but now that it's back, I was like, I'll check it out. You get a free month, so you can try it before you have to commit to it, which is nice as well. But it's $10, so just keep that in mind because that's not all.
I'll put it this way: this show is run almost entirely off of Google News.
Yeah. And then Apple got into their Apple Card, which I think is huge for them because it really makes sense in their business plan. It just makes perfect sense for what they're trying to do with the iPhone itself. And it's essentially just a credit card. There's no fees. They're getting rid of fees. I don't know what the interest rates are. I think the APR was like 13 to 24% or something like that. They have this daily cash thing where the more you spend, you get 3% back daily cash. If you purchase Apple products, everything else is 2%. And if you use their new physical card, then it's 1% cash back. The card's cool. It's like this titanium card with just your name on it and just the maglev strip. And that's it. There's no numbers on it, so you don't have to worry about someone trying to like write your numbers down, I guess. No CVV. And that's pretty much it. What's cool about it is that they're using like machine learning to make sure that they can try and like document each and every transaction with like an easy to read icon and shows you in this nice little graph. That way you can see what your spending habits are. It shows you pretty easy ways on how to pay your balance down, what you owe, when it's due, stuff like that. And it's just kind of like simplifying the credit card process, which is it's a smart move for them. And it's all backed by Goldman Sachs. So there still is a backing bank to it, of course.
But
Goldman Sachs is the bank.
The thing that worries me the most. That's my only issue with it. Because I really do like the idea of the concept, but to me it's also like...
Well, it's just any worry that you would have with any credit card.
Exactly. And it's just like, that's not solving that issue, that's the issue I want solved personally. More than I want a better app implementation of Mint.
Yeah.
But it does a lot of cool things. I probably will get one, to be honest. But like, that's where my issue is like, all right, so it's backed by Goldman Sachs and you basically have an NDA of Apple saying Goldman Sachs won't sell your data ever.
Yeah.
Probably. But we don't really control that. Goldman Sachs does. So if they ever go rogue, they can still go rogue.
Yeah. But I will say, I do hold a little bit more trust in Apple and Goldman Sachs than I do Apple and like some weird.
Yeah, like I do.
You know what I mean?
Like I do
financial like.
No, that's what I'm saying. I still do trust it. I still am probably going to get one, but it doesn't solve the issue I was hoping that it could have solved if a tech company stepped in and did this. Because what I like, I use privacy.com for almost everything. I want the privacy.com card that's just sits there everywhere and it just makes a burner card on your reader and then you just scan and get rid of. Like that's what I ideally want.
Yeah.
But it is definitely pretty cool. And this is I think the closest I'm going to be able to get to that.
Yeah.
For the time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's smart for them. It's smart for them because it's going to make them it's gonna suck a little bit extra more from a lot of their customers. Cause I'll probably get one. I like the way it tracks your spending habits. I don't use my credit card for much, you know.
I use cash for almost everything.
Yeah, I don't like using the credit card. I use it just so I can pay it down, just so I can get better credit. That's the only way I really use it. I don't make big purchases on it. And this would be perfect for that, you know. And that's kind of, I guess, what they want you to do with it. I can't imagine them having huge balances on these cards. But who knows? Maybe they will. I guess since it's backed by Goldman Sachs, it's just going to act like any other card. So I don't know what the top, I mean, is there like a black card for Goldman Sachs? I'm not sure.
Yeah, like it's definitely, I'm probably going to get one. But it's a really good step to what I want as my end goal of just the digital burner card in an actual physical form.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool to me. Give me that.
Well, what
Give me
about Apple
Apple
Arcade, which is their answer to Google Stadia?
Oh, dude, you're getting me hyped, and now I lost it.
$9.99, so it's another $10 sub, and it's basically the way they said it in the presentation is that mobile gaming now is fucking terrible, and it could be good if we got good developers to make good games, incentivized on making good games. So what we did was we said you're going to be charged for playtime. You're going to be charged for how much your games are played, and they're just going to pay this little flat fee. You just worry about making good games.
As long as I'm doing this, it's not going to be a good game.
You got to get the SteelSeries fucking controller. But and then it's $10. I think it's a little too expensive. I don't know. They would have to have some really good games for me to jump board.
It's that, but it's also it's too little too late is how I feel about it. Is like, all right, both iOS and Android, their stores have been shit for like 6-7 years. You needed to come out with this then, not now. Where it's like, it's at the point where for me, mobile gaming is like, well, yeah, I already own Total War, a game that was ported from 2004 that like has 3,000 hours of content. I don't need another mobile game ever.
Yeah, but for them, mobile gaming has never been bigger. You know,
true. Like, and I definitely see
we're
a lot
definitely
of
not the right demo for it.
We're not like, and I do see some people who are probably going to be excited about it, and it's Apple, so it's going to suck in a bunch of fuck ups.
Yeah,
I mean, fans, but like, I'm not rushing out of my chair to go get this. No,
I'm interested to see the games though. Because there could be one good game on there that's worth $10, and then I'd be like, "Oh, everyone's talking about this game. Let me check it out."
But at that point, it would be like, okay, it's a cool game that's worth $10 on a one-time purchase.
Right.
I don't see any mobile. There's no real mobile games to me that are like, yeah, this is worth paying a $10 subscription.
Yeah.
And that's the part that kills me, where it's like, all right, we're already talking about Google Stadia. I already pay for Netflix. I pay for Apple News Plus now.
Right, that's what I was gonna get into. After.
I pay for Netflix. I pay for this or that. It's like the last thing I want or care about is like, oh, I get to pay $10 for a better Crossy Road.
Right. I mean, I'd pay $10 for a better Crossy Road, but that's a different story.
A month?
Maybe.
I would pay $10 once.
I actually haven't played Crossy Road in quite a long time, but it's just because it's so good, and I don't want to tarnish my experience with it. But the kicker on this is that there's no data track. All this stuff they say there's no data tracking, which I believe them on. It's all on device encryption. All your stuff's on.
Yeah,
but also there's no in-app purchases. There's no tie-in gates. None of that bullshit, which is awesome. But it sucks you have to pay for that. That should just be fucking standard.
Yeah. So I get what they're trying to do. I like what they're trying to do with it, but it's one of those like, it's because it's so late when they're coming out with this. They're kind of in that situation of like, all right, they're going to launch it. There's not going to be shit for it. And it could be really good in like 6 months after it launches, once more games are finished. But that by then, the people have already spoken if they want it or not, basically.
Well, it's launching with over 100 titles. And they showed some of them on the presentation that looked okay. We just gotta see. They should do like demo. You should be able to demo some of them.
I think, yeah.
That would make me
I think
it
could work to if they really start pushing out some of like those weird AR games they were trying to show off too. That could get me more into it. But
What would
like
get me into it is just a game that everyone's talking about.
that, yeah,
You
that
know?
and just some quality games. Like it has.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Stadia. I'm cautiously optimistic that there is a future where it could work, but there's a lot against it
Yeah.
from the start.
Also, another thing is that you download the game, so you would be able to play a lot of them.
Right.
I don't know if all of them, but I'm pretty sure most of them you would be able to play offline, which is cool. Stadia,
No,
you
yeah,
would
I'm
definitely need a
not.
connection.
Yeah, I'm not comparing it to Stadia that way. I'm just saying like here's another subscription you have to pay for.
Right. Well, then they talked about Apple TV. There's some updates. They're basically consolidating all of it into Apple TV, which I think is awesome because I have
Like, yeah.
fucking Hulu, Netflix, Showtime, HBO, Sling. What's another one? ESPN, Red Bull TV. All these apps are all over the fucking place. But now they're kind of just saying, just get it all done in one app, which is very, very nice. That was basically all I care about with the Apple TV.
That could be cool, I guess, if I had an Apple TV. I don't have an Apple TV.
Well,
And
you
that's
can get it
most-
on any device now.
Yeah, but like every time I've ever used the TV app, it's kind of shit.
That's what.
Be honest.
Hopefully, they're fixing it.
So like if they do fix it, that would be cool. But even like to an extent, it's for a different consumer than I am.
Yeah.
I don't care about having all of those things in one place because usually I know what I want to watch
Yeah.
and I'm not going to be browsing through. But for people who are browsers, yeah, it's probably going to be good. But right now the TV app's shit.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's just confusing. They just kind of cleaned it up and said, look, you don't have to jump around apps anymore, which I dig. I think that's cool. And that's pretty much it for the TV app, which is free. It's also going to be on Roku, Amazon Fires. You can get pretty much anywhere. Smart TVs. And then they talked the rest of the show hyping up Apple TV Plus, which is their original content. How much is it? We don't know. I would guess $9.99. And I'm
It's
guessing
gonna
Apple's going to
be
come out with a thing
fucking
saying get all of our
shit.
services for like $20 a month. They would have to. I can't imagine that everyone paying $50 a month for all of these services. That's too much money. For not much. You're not getting that much out of it. But this is all G-rated content. They brought on all these stars like Steve Carell, Steven Spielberg, Oprah. Oprah's a big name that's probably going to make them shitloads of money. You'd never underestimate the draw of Oprah. But, I mean, I'm not interested in this at all.
No,
Not
Like,
even
honest-
in the
I think
slightest bit.
this summed up a lot of the show to me, which is this is marketed towards the 50-year-old who has children.
Hmm.
This is for the person who just recently cord cut, but they're used to watching TV, but now they're gonna have some new TV thing with Oprah on it. Their kid can go play the arcade, and they can read their news while
Mhm.
using their credit card. And then, to me, God, this TV Plus just sounds like shit.
Yeah, I'm just not interested in any of these shows. But I guess we're not the right demo for it.
Yeah, like I think it might find a demo, but
I
like
don't know, though.
it's just that's
Who's
the
going to
other thing.
pay for it?
Oprah fans. That's probably about it.
I guess.
At first, to be honest, dude, like, are you really like? Do you really have that much of a feeling that you're like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna pay how much money to see Steve Carell do a fucking G-rated comedy show?
It's a fucking morning show.
It's a drama about a morning show.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was an actual morning show.
no, it's a drama about a morning show.
Oh my god, that's even worse.
Yeah,
That's even fucking worse. But who knows? Maybe it could be good though. You know?
it could.
I
be,
mean,
but it's one of those
Again, all it takes is like one or two good shows.
yeah, like if they
But
Pull out the House
$9.99,
of
like it
Cards.
depends on the price, I guess.
yeah, it depends on the price, and then it's also like how good are the shows going to be? The quality of the content's always king, but you're setting up a lot of really hard limitations there with G only.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know
Why?
why they did that. I really wish that they didn't do that. Or they should have said Apple TV Plus, you can upload your own videos. Here's our new YouTube app. Then I'd be so hype. But I gave the overall show a 4 out of 10. I thought it was pretty poor. I thought it was boring. The products are kind of, they're all services.
I did watch like the trailers for these shows, and they just don't. I would not pay money to watch any of these shows.
No.
So far.
I want like Death, Love, and Robots. Like Netflix has just got that on lock, and I don't see how anyone's like Amazon. Even Amazon does a pretty good job of trying to get like those. There's a couple good shows on Amazon. Like Homecoming was awesome. What was that other show? Handmaid's Tale on Hulu is awesome. And like these are shows that we bought those services for to watch. You know what I mean? Like I bought Hulu because Handmaid's Tale was on there, and we fucking love that show. So Apple really only needs like 1 or 2 good shows for me to maybe be like, all right, I'll check it out.
Yeah, and like they could have them, but like so far, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not too optimistic about it though.
I think it'll eventually have its place, but right now it just sounds like cool, dude. You just bought the Disney Channel.
Yeah, and then
But
Disney's releasing their own fucking thing anyway.
The adult Disney Channel. Thanks, Apple.
When Disney releases their streaming service, it'll have so much on there, like all of the Disney conglomerate things plus ESPN. I don't think I'm ever gonna get this Apple Plus. It's not looking good, buddy.
But yeah,
I wish they were just like, yo, here is a new fucking Mac, modular Mac. Here's your AirPower. Here are the new iPhone updates. Here's iOS 13.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Here's the new AirPods in the black colorway.
But that's why I also rated the show poorly. Was like, okay, credit card sounds interesting, but outside of the credit card, cool, dude. Your biggest thing that you launched was a thing I already own that you bought.
Yeah.
Like there's your push into services.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of people felt that way when they saw this show. But WWDC's coming up, which could be interesting.
Then I'm more hopeful for it.
Yeah.
This for their big push into services. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
I would love to see them do
got a
the
lot to
finance,
learn.
what they did to health, and I would love to see what they do with journalism, what they do
I would like to see
health
what
as
they.
well.
I'd like to see that, sure, but I also don't entirely like what they did to health. So I hope it goes better.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with health. I think their focus on it and the way that they implemented it with their products, I think they did a really good job with it. Better than anyone else has.
I think they did and they didn't, but it's also one of those things of like you're getting like a weird sort of accurate heart reading that no doctor's ever going to like expect. So I think there is a lot of places where it's just going to be people freaking out.
Well, I'm saying like the overall overhaul of like the health app, you know what I mean? Like I think they did a good job in the overall genre of health, implementing it into the watch, keeping all the tracking, making sure that you can, count your calories and macros the right way. It's all done really well. Yeah. And I hope that they do it with I think they did good. Like the card. Like finance needs that just as much as health did,
Yeah. The idea is they're like
people just didn't know what they were eating. They didn't know how much exercise they were getting, and now you just look at your phone. It's pretty cool. Hopefully the finance is the same way, because I don't know what the fuck my credit is up to. If I could just use the fucking little app on my phone. And I have Mint and I have Clarity, and like I still look at it with like, oh my God, what are these transactions?
You can already do that through Mint and etc. But yeah.
They're not that good though.
No,
QuickBooks is even worse, and I have to use that for business. It's like terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, FreshBooks, QuickBooks, all of that is pretty shit.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Oh, hopefully it just pushes them to do better. Clarity's pretty good. I've been enjoying Clarity, but it's not like QuickBooks. QuickBooks is like the only thing out there, at least that I know of. If you know any good like small business expense tracking programs, let me know.
FreshBooks.
That's not a fucking Excel algorithm. I'm not trying to use fucking Microsoft Excel.
No, dude, you just got to go learn your SQL or your MySQL or Maria database.
Not doing it.
We'll get you all taught up of how to select and list things from X.
M. Grimes says Apple saved the magazine industry, or I guess Texture did.
A long time ago that they bought out Texture.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it. I've already.
But not a lot of people had Texture.
True, and hopefully more people will, so they could save it a little bit more. But I still wish.
Do you think the magazine industry is still gonna do you think people
I
would
want,
actually
I want the magazine industry to sort of die. What I'm hoping is eventually they'll do what I was talking about earlier of
just be a web?
be like kind of a
thing.
web magazine, be it so it's like cool. I can go click on specific articles and I can go to the long form content I want. And I hope it helps push long form content the way magazines always have, but also like Medium and things like that.
Mhm.
That's what I hope for. Rather than just like, well, I can still get my monthly news
PDF.
magazine.
All right, let's get out of here. Thanks for listening, guys. We will be back next week. Tune in live here on our new home, the No Life digital Twitch channel. So we're streaming a lot more, man. I've been streaming all fucking day. I'm getting tired of it already. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Don't say
Peace.